It's amazing that nobody from the Shuhada of Kerbela or those who were with Hussein are known as partner and sharik of Hussein. And the entire caravan which came with Hussein ibn Ali, or those who joined later on, the only person who is known as the partner of Hussein, Sharikatul Hussein, is Zejneb salawatullah alayha. Salawat min alayhi. She was partner in what? Not in kingdom, not in luxury, not in richness, in suffering. She was with the brother at every step. And if you look at the closeness, the way they are talking on the eve of Ashura, the concern that she had for the safety of her own brother, where she is willing to the extent of even sacrificing her own sons, honor Muhammad on the day of Ashura. But it doesn't stop there when she is known as Sharikatul Hussein. After the events of Kerbela, she becomes the voice of Hussein, to defend the cause of Hussein against the propaganda of Yazidi administration, that he was a rebel, opposed the Khalifa of the time. She became the voice of Hussein in Kufa and in Sham. Let me just read to you one statement from the sermon she gave extempore in Kufa. And this is not in the Darbar of Ibn Ziyad. This is when the caravan is taken as captives into Kufa. Ibn Ziyad Mal'oon had asked the people to come out of their homes, line up on the both sides of the street, because he wanted to show his victory and also intimidate the people that if you oppose, this is what will happen to you. And the women were told that if they can go, they go on the roof. And at that time when the caravan moves in among the people, you know, Zejneb realized they are all crying. And this is where she says to them, أَتَبْكُونَ وَتَنْحِبُونَ. Are you crying and wailing now? وَاللَّهِ فَابْكُوا كَثِيرًا وَاضْحَكُوا قَلِيلًا. By Allah, cry a lot and laugh a little, because you are afflicted with his shame. The shame of the act what has happened now, it will never be washed away from you ever. How can you wash away the crime of killing the family of the last of the prophets, the family of the source of risalat and messengership? How can the crime be washed of killing Sayyida Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, the chief of the youths of paradise, the one who was your shelter in confusion and the light of your proof? You have earned the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and humiliation and poverty is your lot. And she was very, very clear, you know, in condemning the people, that now you're crying, you should have been there to support Muslim bin Aqil. You should have been there to support my brother. Not only that she becomes the voice of Hussein after Kerbela, she also becomes the protector of the children of Hussein. When we look at the situation of Imam Zainul Abidin, according to Sheikh Saduq, Zejneb became Naib on behalf of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Naib of Imam Sajjad. In order to protect the life of Imam Sajjad, he will be silent, Zejneb will speak. And she did this at every stage. Even on the day of Ashura, when Shimr Mal'oon came with his soldiers into the tents, and when he saw this young, man still alive, and he says, "What is your name?" And when he realized this is son of Hussein, he says, Ibn Ziyad has given us the instruction not to leave anyone from the children of Hussein alive. And he gave the order to kill. This is where Zejneb comes in the front. He said, before you kill him, you have to kill me. Similarly, we see in the Darbar of Ibn Ziyad in Kufa, when there was exchange of words between Ibn Ziyad and Imam Zainul Abidin, where he very courageously responded to the words of Ibn Ziyad. At the end, Ibn Ziyad says, you have this courage to speak even though you are my prisoner? He turns towards his soldier and he says, وَضْرِبْ عُنُقَهُ, chop off his neck. This is where Zejneb comes again in the front. He said, aren't you ashamed? After having done so much, you still want to spill blood? If you have to do that, first you will have to kill me. This is where Zejneb now is becoming Sharikatul Hussein, after his shahadat, protecting the children of Hussein. Salawat on Zejneb ke liye. In the Darbar of Yazid, I talked about the khutbah of Bibi Zejneb many times, but one incident there, again, protecting the children of Hussein. When they were presented there in the Darbar of Yazid, with all the people from a different level sitting there, one of the mal'oon, evil ones, looked at Fatima bint al-Hussein and says to Yazid, Yazid, I want you to give her to me as a slave. This is the family of the Prophet. This is where Zejneb could not tolerate it all. Immediately she responds, before even Yazid would say anything. She turned to that person and says, you are wrong. By Allah, you will be put to shame. And then look at her courage. This is where it is the voice of Zejneb, but the courage behind is the courage of Ali, where she says, neither can you do this, nor can he. What you are asking, you can't do it. And you are asking Yazid to do that, even he has no right to do that. And then referring to Yazid, she says, this is where, Yazid becomes very angry. And he says, I can do it if I want that. And this is where Zejneb says, Kalla wallahi ma ja'ala Allahu dhalika laka. She says, by Allah, never. Allah has not given you that right to do that. Illa an takhraja min millatina wa tadinu bighayri dinina. You can't do this unless you get out of the fold of Islam and follow a religion other than our religion. Because this is against our laws and against our Sharia and against our principles. And this is where Yazid says, where is your father and your brother who had gone out of the fold of Islam. And this is where Zejneb again says, aren't you ashamed that it was to Allah's religion and to my father's religion and to my brother's religion and to my grandfather's religion that you and your father were guided to? This Islam that you claim to follow, even nominally, that is the Islam of my brother, Islam of my father, Islam of my grandfather, Islam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat.